aggressive start out for the defensive side, looking to try and take an awful lot of map control. They are on the wrong side, but they will have that information very quickly. The problem is they will have completely lost the B site.
This could be a little bit of an issue. You can see FNATIC have overran the site and they're getting a plant down easily, but they've at least managed to deal with Magnum off the bat. So that's one player taken down, a little bit of security out of the game for FNATIC. As they now look to hold on to control up in heaven. There's 3 players tucked up there.
God.
They have the potential to play off some of this breach utility when the stun comes back up, but FNATIC is in a lot of trouble. And with him going down, the wall has disappeared. They're going to fight for the other side, and that's where they run right into a patient Sugar Zero with a great lurk out here and 2 kills. That should be the round in the bag.
Yeah, good luck to Mystic, that is all I'll say. He does manage to get himself one with the Molotov, but I don't think it's really going to matter with the amount of time on the clock. Now, something we really wanted to talk about going into this map is sort of, well, at least in my eyes, I didn't even expect FNATIC to allow this map through because I was wondering how it would work compositionally. Now, Boaster, normally on a Viper. That's how they would normally play this map. He is definitely someone who can play the Breach, but what made it interesting for me is, and I'll let you take this bit, it's your man Firo, because he's never played a Breach. So I was looking at that going, there's no way he subs in on that role, but for Alliance, he has played a Viper.
Yeah, so it would have been kind of weird, right, to see Firod try a completely new role. And for Boaster, having already had the experience, it's a situation that definitely adds up. But I do think, though, for Firod, yeah, this is an agent that, sure, he does play on this map, but Alliance don't play this map that often. This is somewhere that he doesn't have a ton of experience. And certainly when I was on the roster, not an agent that we would typically put him towards because there's a player like Hype there who will typically take this role. That's a great opening duel by ZETA coming through. It's going to cause a couple of problems, right? Losing one of those weapons early on. When you invest like this, you really got to find the ground right off the bat, and they're being pushed back from A main again and again, and the drop down has not yielded any better results.
Yeah, considering how much was invested into this round, it looks like it's almost going to work as well as an eco would have.
They've got a decent setup on A, giving up control over the site, fighting for main where they've had a lot of success, but oh, that boom bot has just gone right past them. They had no idea that they were waiting outside. Mystic going to be taken down after just the one. We've got to deal with Crow on the way through. A couple of whiffed shots. It got dangerous. Oh my God!
What? All right, Hiver, that's one way to enter the server with a couple of headshots right off the bat, and he's looking for a little bit more. Doesn't quite manage to finish off Sugar Zero. And now they're starting to question if maybe the spike's starting to go back in the other direction. It's yet to make it to the site, but FNATIC are taking their time.
And they've got the perfect players left alive for this. And look, Ferret's already put his wall down on B early rounds, so that's not going to be in play for them. But Snakebite's still online, breach utility for Boaster, and the ability to get this spike planted. They flip this round into their favor now. The only downside being just how low Firot is. It's got to be a big round from Boaster on the site. If he goes down, this round is basically done. You can see that utility coming online now. The stun as he moves in towards main. He's just crossed over. What a shot! Down to the 1 versus 2, and Sugar Zero, the man with the flank in the previous round, the lurk that got them a bunch of kills. Nice snake bite down, but it's gonna get it halfway at least. Look at the HP though, 45 left. Pushed out by the utility now. They know he's not defusing. They'll wait for him to go over and tap it. You think, no, Boaster's in the open, and he's taking the kill. That is the round for FNATIC. And look, Tom, you know, 2-1 might not look strange. That's a scoreline you can see happen for sure. But second round force for FNATIC, they lose it, and then they win the eco.
Yeah, I guess the one silver lining is because they managed to actually, like, Prime Gaming flawless that previous round, they actually still have enough to buy into this one, even though it's such a peculiar position. I don't really know how Hyber managed to get those kills. I mean, it's like the first one was already gross, but then to flick back on the second as well.
Here comes the Stim Beacon, the ultimate as well. Is that about to go down? Are they preemptively putting it through? This could be a very interesting execute.
Instead, they're looking to put pressure onto Depp. He's left completely isolated. The rest of the team have, however, completely rotated in towards A. So this is basically a stack up for ZETA. They've got a good opportunity and already 2 quick kills coming back through. In fact, make it a third. It's left all on to Mystic. You were talking about holding the ult. Well, I don't even know where you'd use it at this point to try and get back in.
If he even had 1 smoke, right, he could get out there, take the spike, and maybe things could go his way. But they are holding him, and it's not just rifles. It's that tour de force in the hands of Laz. That's really where you're afraid coming into this one. And with 15 seconds left, there's no choice but to go forward. Now or never. There There you go. That goes exactly as expected. ZETA pick up the third round. A good answer back after losing to the Eco. It's not the ideal start for FNATIC, that's for sure. Look where the economy is after that kind of back and forth bounce. They're in a pretty shaky spot.
Yeah, it's an odd one because you've almost got yourself a showstopper online.
Yeah.
So that's something that you could look to play with. Something I have to highlight, and I know I always highlight him, so you're going to hate me for doing it, but this agent was designed for Laz.
It's about trying to take this space to get the orb for Hyber. They can then maybe try to blitz into a site with a Rolling Thunder and Showstopper if they were to have that opening duel. They've got it with a nade! Sugar Zero's gone down, Rifle to be retrieved. Mystic really wants it. He's running forward to the site. The Snakebite will slow them for a moment, but they keep on getting kills.
Yeah, Magnum just got one with a classic as well. This is already such a peculiar round. It's the non-weapons that are actually doing most of the work, and because Hyper got one with the nade, it's actually given him the showstopper as well. Now Feros comes through, and I don't know. Like it seems like ZETA are doing the hard work, and then losing the rounds that should be a lot simpler to weird spots.
Yeah, so far this game hasn't gone exactly how you'd expect it. Maybe ZETA can get out with a clutch, though, and put us back on track. Unlikely. Depp already on the side.
Still only has a classic. This fight for Magnum, he can't really do anything. He's waiting for the aggression of his teammates. A good trade, but Depp still standing. They've already put something onto the spike, and Hyber, while he hears the steps behind. This man's aim has been on point so far this game. That's 2 rounds where he's had multi-frags where he didn't even start with a weapon.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous,
Didn't even use his ult.
The fact that we have an eco win, then we have an eco win, and, you know, when we look at this situation and go, how do we start it? Oh, well, look, they're 1 orb away, so maybe if Hyber can grab an orb. Well, he naded a guy to get that ult, and then he didn't even use it. They didn't use the Rolling Thunder that we were talking about. Instead, it was a classic getting them kills. It was a Sheriff on the way through. The rifles retrieved, the nade frag. I mean, this is a ludicrous start to the game, and I don't think it's going to get any more grounded in reality. We're starting it out on ZETA with a couple of pistols and very early aggression to B main, pushing up with 4 players. But FNATIC have read that. They're going the other side. They pop their early flash there. They hear some noise, and yep, they're out of there.
Yeah, and they should have the warning system as well, telling them there's someone coming in from behind. With the clearance of depth, sure, they have to be a little bit careful, but at this point, there should be somebody watching that flank and knowing that they're coming in from behind, and there's going to be Feroth already, a multitude of members in that direction. He's got to be careful. Doesn't want to get caught out by the nade. Just uses utility to hold the back. The flash. What's just happened from Sugar Zero?
Yeah, you know, we complimented this guy on his lurks. Maybe he should shoot people from behind. That wasn't too fun of a fight to watch, but somehow they've come back into it again. It's just a ludicrous game so far. The showstopper puts them into a decent spot. Rolling Thunder answered back, though. That's a good ult burned up by FNATIC already.
Still
ZETA can be pretty happy with Magnum going down. They're looking for the side boasters up top. He's got one, but now he's in trouble. Took behind the box. He'll swing out, and Crow will find him. A 4th round goes to ZETA. And Tom, yeah, it's not got any easier to understand.
What? How did they spotted the whole team, Mitch? They knew it. They were all of them there. I'm genuinely lost for words. I have no idea. They got an entry, a free site, and an afterplant, and they lost a 5v4 retake to pistols. And they used a Rolling Thunder.
Oh, man.
He gets another one here as well. It's so clean.
FNATIC have had the advantage in a lot of rounds, and they've thrown it away. And yet, when ZETA have had the advantage, you know, up against pistols, they've thrown it away. So it's definitely been sloppy. The ball's being dropped on both sides. This guy, though, he hasn't dropped the ball at all this tournament. He just keeps delivering, and there's another opening duel for him with great map control held afterwards. Look at how scared FNATIC are to even go for that repeak.
Yeah, the fact is the choice should be at this point just go the other way. Like, it's not worth facing off against, and they've got the information in the other direction. The flash just doesn't blind him at all. Now Hyber's going to try and at least trade it out, but he dissipates before he could actually land the showstopper. Ultimate completely wasted, and now 10's even wrapped around from behind, just leaving 2 players remaining for FNATIC. They are being slaughtered by 1 man and his op.
Well, at least they've got the site control, but even the plant might be difficult to secure. The nade comes through, but it's a shot from Sugar Zero, and it comes in at the final hour, just barely denying that defuse. Mystic 35 seconds, 1v5, spike down in the open. Yeah, going away from that side is definitely the right call. This weapon will just be saved to the next round.
Left.
Whatever, we move on.
I swear, I think Depp might have spent like 7K. I think Depp might have dropped him. I'm not sure. Either way, FNATIC are on the way. They're blitzing into B. Look at this. And how is he allowed to do that? And Sugar Zero takes advantage of the chaos for a double. FNATIC are falling apart at the seams here. ZETA completely tearing them to shreds. And it's the same play. It's the same guy again and again, just given so much space.
Well, yeah, the fact is the whole play there was that he was going to dive through the smoke, catch one, and, well, disappear. But he didn't need to disappear. There was nobody ready for that sort of push. Not expecting him to just disrespect the utility. And again, we find ourselves in the same spot where FNATIC have 45 seconds. They have the spike, but planting it is impossible. ZETA are just not moving. They're just going to sit back and basically allow them to try and go for that plant, and then they'll go for the retake, knowing exactly where the remaining players are, even trying to deny them. Now, I like the cage. It almost fakes that there's someone planting within it, and they've at least managed to get themselves the after plant, Mitch. But with no utility left, and no ultimates, this is going to be impossible.
Yeah, look, it's come back to it again and again. We're in these positions for FNATIC where they're getting to the site. They're doing the hard work, but it's then falling apart afterwards. And I do think, you know, the very fact that Laz is able to have all this space. That Sugar Zero, great reactions, hiding up above, waiting for them to come through. You know, the funny thing is, the position he's in, typically where FNATIC have been going from, right? They put the wall down, they go through heaven, and he's holding in that position as they come to clear it out. Look at that timing. It's so perfect. The shot rings out. Had FNATIC have had that one player ready for that kind of play, things could have went completely different. But another gap that's exploited by ZETA. Now they've got themselves covered over towards the B side with the trap wire, and the same for backside if anybody pushes up through dish. Rolling Thunder, the only ult that's in play for FNATIC is used. And a blind shot from 10, but Hyber with the same nade up into heaven catches the same player. Sugar Zero really not having a good time when it comes to that utility. Now FNATIC are at least able to get to the site, moving through heaven, the position they cleared. There's a weapon on the floor for them, and they'll be going in for the plant momentarily. But you know what, Tom, this is really where the problems have been. Planting on this site, even with the wall up, has been near impossible.
Yeah, because they've just been patiently waiting for somebody to actually go for the plant. Look, they're planting safe. I don't blame them at all. Like, them trying to get these open plants haven't worked out, and this time they have themselves the Viper's Pit as well. So it's going to force the close quarters battles for ZETA.
So in this moment, I look at Fira.
He's just dancing.
He's got his orb still up, and you're kind of going to need that if you do play any sort of a post plant, if you try to leave the site and use your snake bites against them. But, oh, this is nasty. Waiting this long for Magnum, they shouldn't be expecting it. The pistol was watching it, but Laz eventually goes up the rope, and that's when Magnum strikes. Good repositioning from Boaster, really being the bodyguard there for Fira, spotting them as they move on through. With this Viper's Pit still up, it's so easy to close out. 9-3, a third round for FNATIC. And look, that was desperately needed. Only 3 rounds on the board, 35 seconds left, and it's time for ZETA to make a move. They're coming into the B side, and they have found it completely open.
30 seconds left.
Yeah, a few players holding onto the cross, but I think they're just going to have to try and face this one in the retake. Plenty of time to get the spike down and planting open towards tree as well. If they can just all fall back, it's going to be really difficult for FNATIC to try and clear because everybody else is coming through the spawn.
I mean, this aggressive wall out of ZETA gets so much control, but they're pushing past it, they're pushing through it. Depp, he manages to hold on to control. That is fantastic. Up goes the orb, he's on his way back. No, he's not, he's on his way forward. Depp will not be stopping. He's tucked himself up on the box, and this position is going to be hard to clear out. They have stunned him up at least, and now they've gunned him up too. ZETA still with the man advantage. Headhunter in play, Laz not able to connect the shot. Well, not pulling them out, but Boaster's dropped, and this is starting to look like it's done and dusted. Magnum really against the clock on this one, halfway defused already, but the pre-fire from Sugar Zero on point. Double digits found for ZETA. That looks like another nail in FNATIC's coffin. They are going to struggle to get this done. Well, actually, let me correct myself. If they eco this one, I think this might be the best round yet.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe they'd like Hyber's definitely been a little bit quiet since those early 5 kills that he managed to get in the game. But I think the other thing as well is I love this sort of like fast-paced re-aggression, because one of the things I think we really noticed in the game that we saw last time was I feel like Boaster didn't really have the performance he could have done, because I feel like he's trying to micromanage. There's new players within the team. So the fact that in the mid-round they're re-aggressing and catching FNATIC while they're trying to actually rotate in, it means they can't communicate the setup that they actually want to try and do.
I mean, Hyber, I love you, bro, but I just realized 5 quick kills. Those were with rifles, right, with actual weapons, and then he got 2 nade kills, and he's on 7. So did he go like most of the half without shooting anyone? Just getting nade kills on Sugar Zero again and again? kind of wild.
Yeah, he got a couple with the pistol, and yeah, it's been a quiet half.
It has.
Let's put it that way.
It really has, especially with how we start things out with that little bit of momentum.
I will say, slotting into a fracture isn't. I don't think those words have ever been uttered before,
nah.
And it was one of the reasons I didn't expect to see this map at all for FNATIC without having their core, basically.
Exactly. It's a really tough map. It's got to be the hardest map to play on the fly. I don't know. I'm sure someone disagrees with that, but for me, I look at this map and it's just not easy to pug it. It's not easy to play it free. There's so much importance on control. Look at these 3 players stacked up. They've made the right read, at least over on FNATIC. Stun lands, though. That's taken Hyber out of a couple of these fights.
Again!
But he's back in. Quick double. Reload off, but he's not able to follow up with the kill. Down to just Crow. Low HP. He's going to try to flush Fearoth out of the corner. Classic in hand, but Fearoth gets him. What did I say, Tom?
How is that the rounds they win?
What did I say?
This doesn't make sense.
No,
and it's the same. It's Hyber with 2 kills with the Sheriff.
I'm following the stats, man. I'm just looking at the stats. They win these rounds when they play ecos.
So he's genuinely, he's got more kills.
Rifles. Oh, no.
He's got more kills with Sheriff and nades.
Yes.
Than he has with rifles.
Yes. Significantly more.
In fact, I think you can add Showstopper to his rifles and he's still got more.
Oh, he got a Showstopper as well, didn't he? Yeah, he's really not out of guys. He got a rifle kill? Poor old Hyber's really... just leave him on the pistol. He's an animal with that Sheriff.
I still will favor this heavily to ZETA. I don't think that's that bold a prediction with them 10-5 up and going into the attack.
I think that's a pretty safe guess. That is not a great fight for Laz, though. Uncharacteristic whiff, and it's Hyber picking up the kill. Now they look towards the site 10, dropping down the nade to at least seize the control, and it looks like ZETA might be able to land this plant. Pushed out by a little bit of utility, but that Cosmic Divide surely secures it.
Yeah, I think also the Aftershock just went into the default box, so it hasn't done too much more. Hyber just goes straight through, but it doesn't connect. The curse of the Showstopper, and now leads it back into a 3v3. 2 players remaining for either side as Boaster just holds, maybe expecting a little bit of aggression. Instead, just waiting to see if Depp actually comes through the other side. This patience could play out for him, but he's actually gone back into the other smoke. But now that fades as well. It's left all onto one man. Sugar Zero with the timing will get himself back. And now it's on to him versus Boaster.
Shut up and let me work.
Oh, the time's already too low. Sugar Zero played that perfectly, even though he goes down in the end. I don't think there's anywhere near enough time. Boaster won't even get out of there alive by the looks of things. That's the round found for ZETA. 11 on the board now, and it's a Red Bull clutch. Sugar Zero doing a fantastic job there. I have to say, this guy's cerebral play has been something else. You know, he's not coming through with... I wish I didn't see that. I didn't see it the first time. I wish I didn't see it the second time. Thank you very much to our observers for that replay, but also, you're horrible people. No, Hyber, let's keep it PG.
I said flipping, right?
No, but to be fair, if you look at that, and I don't know, this can be something for later, maybe at least put it in the post-game replay package. You saw Hyber pop the ult.
Are you looking at the purchase right now?
Over on ZETA, little bookie for 10.
Yeah, considering they won.
Camera taken out.
That's a good point, isn't it? Sort of processing that, taking that in.
They lost so many players that they can't afford to buy, and FNATIC can, and Fearoth just waiting. I don't know if I've ever seen that before, the eco coming in after winning a round.
I've seen it in ranked, and there's normally someone that's pretty angry about it because he's bought a rifle, but can I just say, I love it. 11-5 in the lead, and you make that call to play like, hey, just give him a round. Give him a round, who cares? And with someone like Laz running around and Tan going on site with the bookie, there's potential. But you know, okay, 9 times out of 10, we probably lose this round, but who cares? We'll be 11-6, and then we'll get a strong buy. We'll have all our ultis, or a lot of our ultis coming online. If I'm not mistaken, I think 10 might have been 1 away from his Showstopper, so I think I'll have it online for next round, or at least very close to. I'll put them in a great spot. But what I was going to say was we had Hyber got so unlucky with that showstopper, man. The fact that 10 blast packed away because he tried to fire it between 10 and Crow.
Oh!
What the?
Oh, no. It can't come down to this. Already a couple of kills coming up, and anything more than this is, well, it's already damaging, but it could be awful. Wow! Sugar Zero. Man has been hitting the aim labs in this one because that was ridiculous.
Well, you know, I said 9 times out of 10 we lose that round. Well, if you're Zeta right there, I think they can take a couple better odds than that. That is absolutely ridiculous.
He was the only person that wasn't close to his ult. He was the only person not near his ultimate. And now he's one away.
And it's going to be the A side open.
Now, I will
Zeta,
say
you're smart.
They do have themselves a Rolling Thunder, so they might have just given it up for that exact reason. But even still, Zeta have gone through expecting there to be at least somebody here. And, well, they haven't managed to actually clear out the Viper's Pit. In fact, the FNATIC players push deeper just to avoid that ultimate.
But now they've got to fight back into the site, right? And you got a Viper's Pit on the other side coming up. That was a really close step to the Viper's Pit. That could have been dangerous. Look at 10. Oh, guy goes down. Fira just about catching him. This gives a lifeline to FNATIC to fight their way back in, but look who's behind. Laz with a quick kill, and he's going to stick around. He's got that tour de force, looking to take them down. Sugar Zero popping off on the site. This is Zeta's round. 3 kills and a judge to close it out. 12-6. Zeta really get those stacked. They've got 5 rounds to build ults. They can just explode into it.
We're going with the
That's
hope
kind of
story.
scary.
The hope, you know?
The hope, yeah. Well, showstopper. There's a showstopper for FNATIC. Tom, that could be good. The showstopper. Yay! Lots of hope for this one. No showstopper.
Oh, no.
No
They just got
No
double
Mystic.
judge. Oh, it's
No
done.
Boaster.
It's done. Magnum needs to try and clutch a 1 versus 5. The aggression from FNATIC has completely failed. And, wow, talk about miracles.
Last round we saw a Northside Crunch. No one was there. This time we saw a Northside Crunch. Everyone was there. And no matter what, Zeta coming out ahead in those early fights. That's map done. I mean,
yeah, this is normally where you'd see your teammates leaving the game. I don't think anybody believes in this class. Unfortunately, as well, he's on the wrong side. Yeah, they are taking this very seriously. Regimented on the Zeta side. They've been like this throughout the entirety of the map, though. They don't want to give this man a hope in hell of bringing this back. And, well, yeah, a 1v5 on the site. They're going to have to try and reset and bring this into the next one. We are heading to Icebox. There is absolutely nothing that Magnum can do.
Even a kill or 2 here would be inconsequential. He had to ace it, had to defuse. 13-7. A damn impressive game played out by Zeta here on map number 1. Fracture is now theirs, and they are 1 step closer to surviving, to getting their win on the board here in Reykjavík. Zeta are coming in here as the favorites for me, Tom.
Maybe I'm delusional. No, I definitely am delusional. But, you know, I think
nice
they can
orb.
do it. I think it's going to be a composition that's difficult to play against. Sure, I do worry on the attack, not having that aggression. Maybe they won't need it, because it seems like the defense is going to come to them. Already looking for the fight. Laz has just been so clean, but it is just going to be trades for now. Depth, they know he's here. He's already been pushing. In fact, he's going to wrap back round and try and spot the spike. The problem is, he is stuck, but he does well to at least get himself back into position. And now the rest of his team are looking to wrap around from behind. Sugar Zero already adding his first to the tally.
Just popping down the snake bite as well, try and slow them as much as he can, making sure they get around the corner and back through mid. Crow stuck around for a moment, but he's made the right call and falling back. Okay, man advantage for Zeta, but depth is extremely low after that early push. And in fact, the A side's completely open. FNATIC have got this for free. They'll be able to get a plant down. I'm looking over at Zeta. They have got shock darts, but they're going down. Oh, yeah, that's actually hitting Fearoth pretty hard.
Yeah, definitely giving them an easier time of getting back into the site. Now, Hyber's got to go huge here. In an aggressive spot. Basically hoping that nobody clears him, and I don't think this recon's actually going to get him at all. There's an opportunity. In fact, he manages to escape as well, even doing an extra little bit of damage to the remaining player of Sugar Zero. They're trying to clear out some of these spots. The shock dart doing a lot of damage, might even kill off one at least, and the dash. What? It's just straight across from Sugar Zero. He's going to go pushing. What is that?
There is absolutely no reality that that should have worked out from the top rope.
The floor.
The right click on Hyber. The shock darts were down. The damage was done. Everything was looking good. And again, ZETA managed to just pull that back. I mean, that is devastating. Like, both
He only
bullets.
had 3 bullets. If this didn't kill him, he had no bullets in the clip.
And if I'm not mistaken, Hyber was very healthy. If not, I think he was 100 HP. I
think he was.
I'm almost certain he was.
Wow. Okay, Sugar Zero. I see you. I don't know. It's got to be so brutal because other than that, like, FNATIC played it well in that clutch situation, isolating the initial duel, killing off the other player, and then just Sugar Zero. Sugar Zero, that's all I got.
Good shock darts by Crow as well. He tagged up Firoth, made it possible for that second bullet to kill him so quickly. 10's gone down, starting this one off. I mean, FNATIC have got an eco. We know what that means. They win these rounds every time. On the answer back, whether it's the second or the third, whenever they don't invest.
Has a headhunter as like just a gun that he's allowed to keep for the entirety of the time. So
if they take down Laz, he's the only player that can really fight on range. But Laz is coming up close, already taking Boaster. Up above, Depp is getting nothing done. Huge damage onto Laz. Players peeking him from every which angle. I frankly have no idea how he's still alive. But they're only barely hanging on. ZETA come up against an eco here. And they're getting shock darted down. 1-to-1, FNATIC. I do not understand how they are this consistent when they invest nothing. Again and again, the ecos are devastating ZETA.
The thing that's most frustrating as well, if you see something like this with like the headhunter, it's like, yeah, man has a free guardian in his pocket. Doing this with frenzies. Like, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Magnum having his buddies back as well through the edge of a smoke, like, I don't know.
1 minute 20 on the clock. FNATIC slowly moving to the A site. They have their flank covered by Mystic, who is in my least favorite position on any map ever, in the spawn of Icebox.
We just call it Rat.
Rat, yes.
It's called Rat.
A ratty little spot.
The worst thing is as well is they have a couple of traps there, so he doesn't really need to be there. He's just doing it to kill anybody that gets caught in the trap. Although no one's gone in that direction, which is also good for FNATIC. It's the info they need.
They were 1 second, 2 seconds maybe on ZETA away from getting the kill there with the shock dart. A little bit late on the lineup. The Viper was in position, but Crow wasn't. Hyber's managed to avoid this. Look, he's in a great spot. Oh, only the one, but he gets out. Halfway defused already. Guys spraying away. He's almost got it, but they've dealt with him eventually. Kills are coming in, though, quickly. Crow already for a triple. And with that spike defused halfway, it was dangerous. But Mystic, he managed to clean it up nicely from up above on Belt.
Hyper still has a trap. Now, we've been seeing him put this down in mid to just stop that mid-aggression. They've also had players holding that in the past. They're not doing that in this round, but I guess it's just because nobody's been aggressively pushing, so they're just going to utilize it somewhere else.
Yeah, post-plant utility can be fantastic to even just keep them in position, slow them down when they go for the defuse and so on. But for a defuse to happen, that plant has to happen. And so far, that's been pretty tough to get. They're moving towards the site, but 10 gets a double. Bladestorm in play, Depth tagged up. Going to be taken down, though. The dash saves his life. He's inside the Viper's pit. Confident with the right click in hand, defending the spike.
Running out of time.
Inside this ultimate, 10 seconds left, and Mystic goes down. Verot, though, in for the double, but he won't follow through on the final. Laz saves the day, and a second round falls into ZETA's hands.
A bit too close for comfort, that's for sure. Especially, bear in mind when that hit came in, that was a 5v5 on the A site. If you've ever watched G2, you're not surprised. You've seen that one before, but it's something that they probably should have been able to win a little bit more cleanly, but it is just an incredibly scrappy site. And well, the fact it came down to a 1v1 and a nice attempt for Feroz to bring it back, but it's a second round for ZETA and an important one at that.
You gotta give props to 10 there on the early wall that he put down left side of A. Stopped them from being able to easily get the plans for Heaven and play the post plans there, but also really siphoned them around that left side. You saw 10 was completely ready for it. He just isolated them, took them down in that little alleyway as they walked through, and they had to worry about peeking into spawn and up above where Laz had gotten them before on the balcony. Same wall goes down. This time, though, it's FNATIC to come ahead in the early rounds, finding depth right away. Oh, 10!
Wow.
That's clean and in through the wall. Laz is absolutely ruining their chances. Hyber doing his best from afar to keep things in their favor. They got to get forward and pick Boaster back up pretty soon, or else he's going to be down and out.
No, I think they have bigger problems as well. They've just lost another player in the form of Veeroth, and Hyber, it looks like he might have to try and do this alone, but he's giving it a damn good go! Quick flick, but he tries to swing back through, and actually the timing almost doesn't work out for Mystic. These rounds are so ridiculously close, but again, FNATIC come out on top. Not having a Jet in there is definitely a little bit peculiar, at least for what has been played in the region, and more so actually coming up against a KO, which, okay, sure, fragging-wise, Boaster hasn't done much, but it's more just that utility, just removing what they have available. Now, Laz, it's such a dirty angle, and he's already gone. Nothing they can do to trade it, although Mystic was in spot, but then Laz hits the second shot as well.
Yeah, this is something that you'll see from Jets in that position, but this guy already found an ace to close it out. Wow. Well, I said there's not really such a thing as a clean round, but ZETA, more specifically Laz, just proved me wrong. That was incredible. And this position, you'll see Jets in it, but it's still kind of a one and done. If you're there, you need a second player to be covering you so you can dash out, fall back, and still be able to provide that little bit of fire. For this guy to get the first and get out, he's already had a great round, but then just delivering every single headshot afterwards.
There's been a huge risk with going into this B site, and that risk is Laz.
Well, they now know that back yellow is clear. They've got their wall up to cover, and Laz is being wall banged, but here's still the danger man of Depp. The wall's going to go down in just a few seconds. There it is. But luckily, there's a Sage wall to block Depp's, hoping someone gets a little over eager and wide swings in. Hyber's playing this one patiently. There's the res coming through. They'll try to spam. They're not finding him. Okay, numbers are going to be evened up. This is definitely doable for ZETA. The flank from Sugar Zero is being held for. Like, they've got the PC utility down to cover it. Hunter's Fury to run this clock down a little bit more. 2 quick kills, though. Now things get dangerous. Operator around the right side, and they've just done it in the blink of an eye. ZETA have gotten away with the round win.
Yeah.
What a retake, man.
Really, really solid retake. I love the fact that they wait until they have the screen basically fully loaded up. They then also actually use the res to bring Laz back and then just maneuver as a team. They even have the drone going through it just before to make sure they have all of the information there. And okay, FNATIC had a nice little combo of the Hunter's Fury actually working out alongside a snake bite, but it was a little bit too early for it to really do much. And with that aggressive push coming back through, fantastic retake from ZETA, 6-4. Definitely not, well, it's definitely not a position where they can't come back, especially you can almost see how close a lot of these rounds have been because FNATIC, no money.
So they're going to win this round cleanly. If the pass is anything to go by, this series has been a little bit ludicrous. 1:30 on the clock. FNATIC are fully dedicating themselves to the A side. They've got that super passive PC utility, covering out any sort of flanks coming through. Good flash. Depp's been spotted moving over as well. He's going to be naded out of the corner. The dash, the updraft. He is really trying to stay alive. Good recon for the kill.
Just a tasty tap from 10. He's been so good at the back of the site. The pop flash through, though. He's so blind. He's completely blind, but Boaster whiffs. He gets nothing from it, and now 10 can just fall back out of this site. The shock dart not going to kill him off, and 10's just farming at this point, making sure that res is going to be back online in a matter of seconds. And Mystic, well, he's inside his Viper's pit. It's 10. 10 gets that kill as well. Okay, Viras will have one, and Crow has stolen himself. Or stolen the ace away, I should say. FNATIC have been on this side of the map. We're going to see the wall up to give them that afterplant at least. But, oh, they've actually got the shock dart. It's so close. It's so close to working out on Magnum, but the afterplant comes through.
Yeah, it's not the first time that we've seen it attempted by ZETA. Although previously it had landed for big damage. Good shot by Veeroth from far away. Hyber not going to overstay his welcome. They have the plant, the snake bites coming through. Flash out a Boaster. Really trying to push up and take this fight on the back of the ultimate. It sort of forces them into an awkward position, but with the res still to work with, it shouldn't be too much of an issue. Getting that defuse will be tough, but Sugar Zero's got a triple! It's unbelievable! The defuse has gone through! Sugar Zero's got 4 kills in this round! It's just again and again, Zeta's retakes are unreal. And you know what, on Fracture, that is a map that as a core, you play retakes on. Either it's the early round aggression defensive side, or it's retaking into side. So, okay, they win a lot of the retakes there, but they should be doing it. On this map, with that setup, with those ultimates, no right to win that.
Well, that's the thing. Like, we're now going to be obviously handing this one off to it. Yeah, again, we're going to have this corner spot for Hyper, just looking to try and get himself a kill and maybe escape from this position. It just has to be that escape. In fact, it's Laz on the other side who goes pushing back through already with a double opener for his squad. And sure, they don't necessarily have the utility they want, but they'll wait it out and get the afterplant.
Only the Boaster had gotten the suppress off there, and the wall had gone down. That could have been incredibly awkward. Look at Sugar Zero go. He's already to the back of the site, but now he's dropped. The numbers in favor of FNATIC. 2 versus 1 retake. Utility in play, though. Crow's got both of his shock darts still, and that's a great connection to start with. Hyper left down so low, but no shot will be connected. FNATIC have won the pistol, only barely, though. Look at that HP. It's like a 1 Cheerio per square foot ratio. That's pretty good. No, you know! Good. You know what? If Mystic got more than 1 there, I would have been angry. Good trade, though. Hyper's gone down as well. Zeta making some good room over towards this side, and that was very awkward, at least nearly leaving Magnum down and out of that round. Early flank from FNATIC. They're going to be double pushing behind, and that's just to go get those rifles. Yeah,
of course, this is a bonus, so a lot of the weaponry is weaker here from FNATIC. Anything they can do, and you know what? Magnum's slowing them down. That's the thing. They've actually managed, by the looks of it, to go through the trap. So they're coming in on the flank. They're picking up all that extra weaponry, and it doesn't look like anybody's really facing in that direction. Sure, they've got the screen to cover them off at least for now, but that control's going to be coming back just a little bit late on the fragment, unfortunately.
Oh, good kill by Boaster, though. He's able to follow up. Sees the space. They're still looking to push up on this. Magnum has spotted the player up close. They have the info to play with him. Boaster's following up. We said this man had been quiet. Well, no more. Good kills coming through, and a third to close out the round. That's exactly what we want. FNATIC picking up the round with Boaster, finding kills, getting into the swing of things. This can be a much more promising defensive side.
I think he just got more than double.
You didn't need to do that.
No, I didn't. But, you know, if it's a redemption story, then you have to start low.
See, I realize that, you know, we're going to walk out of here after, going to walk past Boaster on the way to the toilet probably, and you're going to be...
I'm not, like, that's the thing. I've said this
Boaster,
before.
hey, buddy.
I'm not scared of Boaster at all. Terrified of Sue. Terrified.
Yes.
And they're just waiting. You can see it. Mystic is literally a perfect deserving, by the way. Perfect. Just waiting with that extra piece of utility just to try and stop them. And already they're going to get stuck in the mud. 10 taking damage, but he gets away. And actually, Crosshair shot through.
That's a perfect trade in a round like this. Putting them into a 4 versus 4. Viper's Pit still up. Sugar Zero with a silenced weapon to spray through. Little bit of an awkward fight for Laz. It's exactly the angle he wants to fight on. Only good for the 1 kill, but look at the fight coming around. Crow's being spotted. Luckily, recon through. That's the reveal. Mystic only barely survives that. The res on Hyper. Desperation starting to come out of FNATIC. There's a kill for Mystic, though. They'll close in the distance. They'll start to defuse, but you've got to get out of there. In fact, there's no way out. Hyper ends up going down, trying to defuse, and that is the round done. A low buy for Zeta, but the dangers were there. They were highlighted, and FNATIC just could not deal with them. And they are 3-man stacked up here, so the next couple of seconds, they kind of need to make a call on what they want to do.
That's the thing. They've had Hyper watching deep into B, so they know that no one's taken any level of control, so they've just been patiently waiting. Boaster, he's going to get one, but they're incredibly fast on the trades. It's only really Fearoth here, and he gets everything! Just one man standing in the form of Hyper. Now, he's been lightning fast with this weapon before. Is he still going to expect him to be below? That's the problem. He's going above, and it's perfect from depth. A beautiful round from the Jet, and Zeta, well, they're within 1.
God, they're hitting another level now, man. I mean, just the mechanics on display from Depp in that round, the dash forward, the comfort that he had, and I think you can certainly look at it from the perspective of FNATIC needing to adjust better to that. You know, Boaster's caught unaware. Yeah, they had a double fight, and I think that's the thing. Boaster was in the middle of dueling with his teammate. He had communicated that to Magnum, that they were going to peek together and try to deal with Laz, but the timing was perfect. And I think that can be fed back to Zeta having some really good ideas in how they're going to push. This is a heavy gamble from FNATIC and one that is not going to pay off. they'll have to play the retake on the A side, but they know that. They've made that choice.
Yeah, they've heard the steps.
Oh,
Fragment.
there it is.
It doesn't work out. Both has actually gone down to the aggression coming out from Laz. In fact, he's going to continue his push. Holding the angle. I don't know if it'll be expected. In fact, he's going to wrap back around and catch out Fearoth. It's a perfect play from Laz. 10 is also in position. This is falling apart for FNATIC, but Hyber at least lands a shot.
Makes it doable. The drone from Crow just one away from his Hunter's Fury. If he gets a kill, this round is over. Unless they can trade it out immediately, but that'll be tough with Laz right behind him. Good kill. Hyber getting one. The defuse underway. There's a lot of pressure on Laz. He's got to run forward, and he won't get there in time. The round goes to FNATIC in the end. Double digits secured.
Yeah, I think that the initial idea from ZETA was a good one, like to re-aggress when you're in such a disadvantage. The problem is their plant wasn't really for them. Like, they didn't have the angle onto it, and I don't think they knew how to actually play from that position. They were very reliant on actually getting that ult online to really stand much of a chance. FNATIC will be up to 10. But on the other side of things, there's still going to be a purchase. It's definitely not the prettiest of ones, at least yet, but it seems like they still have the finance. They've got 2 players currently around that position. The Viper's Pit still locking things, and well, now starting to spot the utility on the other side. Is there going to be a swing here? It looked like Hyber was attempting to try and fight that. Now utility might actually be delayed. I don't know if that actually caught Sage, though. That would be the real problem if they can't actually utilize this wall. Time really starting to tick, and they're reliant on depth to get something here.
Well, he's not going to get anything in that position, and the spray's coming through, breaking off the wall. Not quite in time, though. Laz has been lurking here for quite a while. Finally getting himself a little bit of success. Hyber's gone down, and so is Boaster. Oh, this is starting to get desperate now. ZETA with so much control and a beautiful tap from 10. That's his 3rd kill in this round, leaving Fearoth to attempt a clutch.
Oh my, it's just instant. He doesn't even give them a chance to react. There's been so many multi-frag rounds from ZETA. As I said, it's going to be difficult to try and pick one that's your favorite, but 10 pulling out a round when they really needed it. Getting them back into within just one once again, but also it was in a spot where it didn't look likely they were winning. Like, 20 seconds left, still counter utility available. It didn't actually land on the player with the spike though, which was the big problem. Like, they didn't break the wall in time. And there wasn't any, it didn't look like there was synergy there. A straight up A-site fight. In fact, every single member here, Magnum's going to go for that ult straight off the bat, and there's not really anything they can do to deny it. Hyber, however, is going to get aggressive and manage to fade away. There's a quick trade, though.
And there's a res, so the numbers are right back up. They try to trade it back, but FNATIC fall behind yet again. ZETA, they've got the advantage, but they've not got the sight just yet, and they know there's a lot of players in front of them. Still, look at the clock, 1:15, there's plenty of time. These guys don't need to rush in. And with the ultimate, like, tour de force online, this is definitely a round to pump the brakes. Their back is covered. These players cannot push up B. They cannot come behind from middle. And in fact, they're going to push straight forward with Boaster looking to catch Crow. Good kill! The response from FNATIC is clean. With those 2 frags, the advantage is now theirs. And it's FNATIC that just pulled back. They're willing to let this clock run down a little bit more. Oh, they don't think he's here!
They don't know he's pushed up! And he's also got his orb there. Fearoth just hiding within the site. He's going to peek out there, kills for free at least. Turns it down to just 1 man 10, but they might have expected him to fall back. He's going to get scattered up. He's going to get scattered up twice. Definitely knowing his current position and the rotation time somewhat fading away, he's just going to try and get himself a plant, and well, they're going to spam straight through it, not allowing for anything. Caught on the reload could be a little bit of an issue for Fearoth. He's now been isolated. This fight is just ugly as hell, but it will be the round coming through from FNATIC. Well, again, the early pressure from ZETA has baited some rotations away. Not a whole lot remaining when it comes to this A site, but it seems like FNATIC are starting to have an inkling that the push is going to come in on this direction, and well, ZETA are not exactly being subtle about it.
No, they are certainly making a lot of noise on the way towards this A site. We're going to have the same attempted plant up above. And although the wall is broken from the spams, 10 makes it out of there pretty healthy. Oh, what an angle. He almost had it. The shot barely whizzing past Mystic's head. Hyber catches the re-peek. Okay, FNATIC on the way back through. What does ZETA have? Okay, that's very early. Laz out of there with just the one. Rez coming through, Hunter's Fury trying to catch the tags, and what is that out of depth? He goes running through, Mystic's gone down to the Hunter's Fury, and the entirety of FNATIC fall apart. It is remarkable how strong they look when they've got pistols, and how weak comparatively with rifles in their hand, but ZETA stepped it up right here. Look at Laz. 25
yeah, he's
15.
Nuts. He's nuts. And the thing that's like, again, this is something I've mentioned before, but a lot of the standard holds that are there for ZETA, I wouldn't say are necessarily great. It's when they go for something really proactive that actually works out.
Early picks have been solid for Laz. Every duel he takes, he walks into with an immense amount of confidence, and you know exactly why. That's results-based confidence if I've ever seen it. Look, he's walking through the poison orb. Absolute madman. They have snuck underneath middle. They've gotten their way onto the B side already. Hyber is none the wiser that his flank is completely
if
open.
He teleports back, he's dead. And he won't even know. They've even killed Boaster in towards the spawn. So Hyber's going to turn around and...
They missed each other.
No, he doesn't even know. He doesn't know that they're this far forward. This round is just a complete surprise to FNATIC. Nice shot from Magnum, but I almost wonder if it might be worth just going for a save here, bringing some weaponry into the next round, because this complete change-up in pace just straight through mid has left them none the wiser.
They dragged out those rotations perfectly as well, right? Boaster was holding for the walkout underneath, but they decided to leave it at just the wrong moment. And in this sort of situation, this is FNATIC. I'll be clear on how I see that round. That's FNATIC overcommitting to control. They decided not to put a trap underneath the tube. Now, you cannot put a trap underneath the tube and play in the position that Hyber is playing in. The problem is, when you don't put that trap under there and then you rotate so quickly after, at the very start of the round, that poison orb goes down now. It's gone down most rounds, so it's not a terrible surprise. You're seeing Sugar Zero still in the same position to throw it down on mid.
This is it.
But you leave that gap, you take the gamble, and well, they've paid the price. Now FNATIC are trying to hold on to survive here in Reykjavík. Can only imagine Durka watching from the hotel room. Flown all this way, isolated, ready for playoffs, and yet they are so far away from playoffs now. OT needed as ZETA look to take that victory for Japan, and they're moving towards the B site to do it. All of their players moving here. And again, Sugar Zero with a Viper's Pit. They just do not lose rounds when this guy has that ult.
This is going to take first contact. They're trying to be a little bit more proactive in their denial of this space. Early snake bite will hold them back at least a little bit longer, and this time the spam has stopped them completely. Forced them to fall back, and the whole squad is waiting. Just look, they are not allowing them to utilize that wall whatsoever, and this has been one of the things that FNATIC has failed at. It's just denying that little bit of extra space. Laz, however, is looking to try and take the fight himself, and well, with the Hunter's Fury coming through, it actually does connect onto 10. But this space is just not expected. Those trades coming back and forth, but this time FNATIC on top. It comes down to the 1v1. Boaster has struggled thus far in this match. And he's facing off against Depp on that operator, just waiting for him to try and go for the plant. He's not connected. The initial shot of the blade sword comes out. He's gonna dash in, and he closes it like that. FNATIC are sent home, and ZETA Division get their first victory on LAN.
What a day for Japan. Gone are the days that we see these men in tears leaving the stage right away. Finally, Japan has put themselves on the map, and what a way to do it. What a stylish end as well for Depp, but really taking the cake had to be Laz. 29 kills closing that out. The consistency, round on round. It didn't matter whether it was early fights, clutches, tour de force, or a headhunter. This guy was unbelievable.